So if you're getting ready to get prepared to do etching, an intaglio, or monotype, the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you are working with a clean copper plate. So for this class you need to buy 2 copper plates that are 6 by 9 inches. These are a little bit bigger, but you get the gist of it, and we're going to show you how to prepare the edges and file these down. So these plates are thin pieces of copper, which are expensive, but also very much they're as cheap as we can kind of get them right now. And right now the edges of these are very sharp. So if I run these through a press, under pressure, if this is a close-up of the plate here, it's got this sharp edge right here, which is going to puncture the felts and your paper and everything, and it's going to leave a little cut in your piece of paper and mess everything up. Very, very bad. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to file a 45-degree angle off of this. So I want you to use the file over there, which I'll show you in a second. And we're gonna take a 45-degree angle and we're gonna cut this stuff off of here so that when it runs through the press, it's got this nice slope so that we don't get any cuts in the felt or the paper. On this wall over here, we have our row of dirty tools, I call it. And basically, this is the place where you're gonna find all the things you need for intaglio and relief and monotype printing. And so here we have all of our brayers that are all set up, all nice and neat and in order. And if you ever look up here on the wall and you see there's a missing slot, I'd like it if you would please find that particular brayer, clean it if it's not clean, and then put it back up in a slot where it goes. But over here is where we have the files, which we'll use to file down our plate edges, as well as some clamps, which we'll want to go ahead and use as well. So you want to grab a file and some clamps, and then we'll go over to the sanding and the filing area. So this area in this table is only set up for doing filing of plate edges and sanding of copper plates. So we shouldn't be using this for anything that involves paper or anything that's clean, obviously, because it's going to be a little bit of a mess over here. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get your plate, and you want to go ahead and real carefully clamp this down, but you're going to want to put a little piece of something in between the plate edge here and the clamp, or else it's going to scratch it up. So over here we have, on the other side, we have cards. So I'm just going to grab one of these little cards from over there, and I'll go ahead and put this on there, and then I'm just going to tighten up the clamp so that it holds it kind of steady. Some people don't need the, they don't need the clamp on there. I usually don't use the clamp myself, but I'll show you guys how that works in case it helps you feel better. You won't cut yourself so much. And what we want to do is we want to run the file along the edge here like this in these nice smooth strokes. So one of the things that I'll do is sort of unhinge that and tighten it back up a little bit, and just real smoothly just run my file along the edge here, starting at this corner and working my way all the way over there so that I get a nice 45-degree angle bevel onto that plate. So remember, that's what we're shooting for, is that 45-degree angle. And then you can just unhinge it like this, turn it, and I like to just hold mine down again. But you guys can clamp them if it makes you feel better and you have a little hard time handling the file. We want it nice and sharp, or nice and smooth and straight, not sharp. And if there's a little rounded area that you need to go ahead and round, you can just kind of hit that, and you guys will see how it kind of files this down real smooth and puts that nice 45-degree bevel angle on it that we really need to have for this to work right. So you want to go ahead and do all 4 sides of your plate, of both plates. So if you have 2 plates, you want to make sure you do both so that we're set here for the next stage of your project. Last thing you want to do is you want to take your scraper, and we're going to want to scrape our edges that we filed. So we filed these edges down real nice so that they're 45-degree angle. Now we want to take that edge, all that grungy kind of filed up spot, and we want to smooth it out. So I'm going to real carefully again kind of just use that scraper to scrape along the edge here so that it's nice and clear. Then I'm going to hit it with a burnisher, and I'm just going to try and polish up those edges. And if you want, you can put a little bit of oil on your finger or on the tool and just kind of rub it on there. And then just gonna go ahead and, again, you can clamp this down if that's easier for you. Just want to be careful that you don't end up scratching your plate up on accident, but you do have to use a little bit of elbow greaser again, and just kind of keep going, and we're just gonna try and scrape and burnish all of those scratches off of the edges so that this thing is really nice, and when I go to bring it, I don't have any kind of scratches or scrapes in it. So there you go. There's our nice filed edge on our plate. It's all burnished. You see this part that hasn't really been messed with yet. It's still real grungy. And this is really nice and smooth. So this is the way you want your plate to be before you do anything else in intaglio or etching or monotype. So you do not want to run a plate through the press until you've done all of these stages.